Hello, this is Ashton with Tech Denmark. I got a little bored tonight, so I decided to do some C. So the OS that I'm using is Ubuntu, and I'm doing C straight from scratch. So let's get started. So first thing you'll need to do is let's do like a clean directory. So some of the prerequisites is you have to learn Linux, and maybe some GCC. So what I'll do is let's make our file. I'll use some Vim. So I'm gonna call it the driver.cc, and the first thing I'm gonna do is add in the libraries I want. So let's see. Include. So what I'm going to do is pull in very basic libraries, std.io, and then what I do is just start with my driver, the main function, and then what I do is just return 0, and this is just, we're just gonna test it out a bit. Oh yeah, we get to throwing in variables from the inside, or kind of like a CLI. So the first thing we're gonna do, let's do a printf, and then let's do our hello world. Okay. I think that's good enough for now. So let's see what happens. So do a right quit, and you'll have to have the GCC installed. So in order to install it in Ubuntu, you do a apt-get install GCC, which I already have GCC installed. There is a development tools group as well. I don't remember off the top of my head the entire name for it, but we have everything we want. Okay, so let's do a GCC, let's do driver.cc, then our output, which would be -o, and I'm just gonna call it driver. Oh, look like it compiled. Let's run the driver. So see, we have the hello world out there. So let's spaz it up a bit. So let's go over to Vim driver.cc. Alright, so one thing I want to do is I want to take arguments from the outside and bring them in. So let's do a int argv with argc, because this is the argument count. And then we'll do a, these are the actual values you pass in for the CLI. So we'll do an argv, and don't forget, ***, which will be a dynamic array. Okay, so let's make sure that works first. Let's give it a run. Awesome. So let's go back over to the driver.cc. Alright. Whoops. Alright, so now let's test out these what we pass in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a for. I'm gonna do an int x equal to 0 plus. Oops. And then x is less than our argc, and then x plus plus. Alright, so I'm gonna put this in brackets, and what I do is see what arguments we pass in, test it out. So I'm gonna do a printf, and this is how you print to the screen, by the way. And what I'm gonna do is let's do a argv, which is the value, and we do x. Okay, and let's see, do I want to do some formatting? Yeah, let's do some formatting. And we're gonna have this as a string. And we're in the line. Alright. So now let's compile it again, and let's go driver, and I'm gonna say Ashton Bradley. Okay, look at that. Okay, so one thing you need to know is that arguments start from Ashton Bradley. Okay. All right. So that's why we start from 0. So when we start from 0, it takes all arguments that you pass in. Okay. So now that we got that, let's try it again. Let's put in blah, 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 blah. There we go. And it works. Now let's try some arithmetic. So let's start with integers. Let's say we want to make a calculator. Okay. So we want to give it a set of numbers, and we want it to add those numbers up. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is we take the argc. Let's continue to take the argv and all of the variables we have. And then let's do something like this. Let's see if we can make this work. Let's do a ATIO. And let's do a argv. Argv. Let's do x. And then what I'm going to do is take, let's do int. Outside we'll do an int result, which is equal to 0. And then let's try a result plus and equal to. This right here actually converts that character or that string to an actual number. Okay, so that's what we want right there. We haven't did any checks or anything like that. So what I mean by checks is if it's a legit number, we're just gonna go for in a perfect world. So what I do is let's do a printf for the results. And we're going to format it a bit. We're going to say results equal to, and then we're going to make it a digit. And then what we'll do is put in result. So what's going to happen is it's going to do a replacement. Wherever that D is going to put the digit. If I did it right, it'll compile. So let's see. I might have to look the library up. So let's try this. See how good I am. Okay, so see how I didn't like that. So let me. Okay. I see what's going on. Had a spelling error. So right here on the argv. RD, there you go. It was because I misspelled this variable right here, which it has to match this variable. This variable is going to come in as a string, which is an array, and you got to convert it to a number, and then you plus and add it to result. So this is equivalent to this right here. Result equal to result plus. But instead of doing that, I just want to do a plus and equal to. Okay, do the shorthand, it's more efficient. So let's right click. Let's see if I get it right this time. Okay, so now the ATOI, we have to figure out what library that will be. So let me go take a look really quick. I think I'm missing a library. ATOII, yeah. stdlib.h. I wonder, do I have that in there? So I like to list my files even though I know they're there. Driver.cc, and then right here we have to include, because we don't have that library. Give some space. stdlib.h. Let's give it a try. There we go. Let's do a 1, 1. 1 plus 1. It gave me 1, 1. Result equal to 2. Good, good. Okay. So look at that result. So we got a calculator now. Alright. So let's do something like this where okay, got that. Alright, we got the binary. Now let's make a makefile. Okay. So you have to install make, and it'll be an apt-get install make. Okay. And we already have make installed. So we vim make file. So this will give us instructions where we're pretty much installing from source, but instead of writing out GCC, we wouldn't have to do that. So first, what I'm going to do is I am going to put a variable in here for the GCC binary, which has to be installed in the kernel. Otherwise, you got to do the full path. So call it GCC. Okay. And then what I'll do is let's just put a build. Let's do all. And then for all, we have a build step. And so now with the build step, let's make the build step. And now right here, we're going to tell what the requirements will be for this build step. What dependencies do it need? So to be driver.cc. And then what I'll do is do the GCC dash we'll do driver. For now we'll do driver.cc. And then the output file will be driver. Okay. Let's say we want to do a cleanup too. We want to clean every time. So in order to clean every time, what we'll do is keep it stupid simple. And to clean it, we'll do a remove -rf, a force remove, just in case it's not there in that working directory. And we'll tell it to remove driver. And then right here, we'll do a clean. Let's see if I wrote this correctly. And so let's do a make. And boom! We made a quick make file. So let's do a make, and it did our make. Let's see if it deleted our make file again. Okay, it did. So let's remove -rf driver. And let's make sure we remove our make file. Alright. So now we can sit there and run our make file as much as we want. So let's do like a test. Okay. So we'll use our make file. So let's go over to the make file, and then let's talk about test. So we say test, and for test, what we'll do, let's do this right here. let's call out the binary. So we'll say bin equal to driver. And then let's take bin and let's plug in our numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And watch it run. We forgot something. Let's add test into this whole orchestration right here. And then let's see what we can do. Right, quit. Let's do a make. And command not found. So let's do this. Let's go here. I know exactly what's wrong. So right here, we're going to go to the actual directory we're already in. And let's do the make. There we go. And we built our first C program with the very basics. I taught you how to do a kind of like a CLI to inject things from the outside if you want to automate. And then I taught you how to make the actual build file. It's very basic. These are all the basics just to get C running. Thanks.